If you're new here, my name is Naima, founder of the Academy for Womanhood, where we help women come into their full power, specifically women who have always been different. And so I want to make some distinctions here, especially just for clarity. It just helps to have clarity. So this company is here to change the world. Okay. Our services are meant to facilitate in the restoring of full power for women, really all women. Okay. As the founder of the company, who has walked through the world like this, who is engaged in my own work, because I'm the founder and we offer high level mentoring courses and community, which is helping women at different levels, different willingness, different capacities. When a woman chooses to work with me, and what really adds such a distinct value of me is that melanin dominant women who were born different, so you need to understand, melanin dominant women who are, and I'm mindful of these words, these ego inflating words, but I don't mean it in an ego way, but elite, meaning she was born different, okay? Not this elite because I'm better than you, okay? And so I share that to give a little bit more nuance than I typically do in the introduction of these live streams. So this is the purpose of the company, helping women come into their full power so they can come out into the world, front-facing leadership, their own sovereignty and authority in a true way. Not a man's way, not another sophisticated way to assert dominance over others, not a fear-based way, not an insecure way, not a little girl way, not any other way that keeps a woman out of her wholeness and being in true service to the collective and the way she is called to. So this is the company, the Academy for Womanhood. I'm the founder, and I'm here on TikTok today to connect with new women who are ready for this, to nurture the relationship with those of you who are here relatively often, and to invite you into opportunities to step into your full, refined power. Okay, that's the purpose of me being here on TikTok. This live stream will be downloaded and uploaded onto YouTube, where we have hundreds of videos. You can find our YouTube channel by going to the link in my bio, click it, and there is YouTube. So today's topic, Grab Power by the Root, Own Your Sex, is inspired by our weekly newsletter. I publish a weekly newsletter called the Er0tic Path. Again, I publish a weekly newsletter every Monday called the Er0tic Path. So yesterday was Monday, and in yesterday's newsletter, the topic was, it's time for women to own their sex. Okay. And I spoke specifically around women creating their own language and meaning around what sex means to them. Their own language and meaning around what sex means to them. One of the categories, because the newsletter is broken down, one of the categories in the newsletter was Grab Power by the Root. Grab power by the root. Now, when I say power, most people have this sort of masculine sense that rises in them about power. This big old tyrannical, I'm powerful, power. No. The real power, which is feminine in nature, has no need to be over people, to control, to be better than, to force, to impose, to dominate, to be the big power. So I say that as a prelude to the rest of our time here together today. When I say power, I mean the feminine force of nature. The feminine force of nature that has been suppressed for millennia. Now, so many women want their power, and two things. One, they're being misguided by women who are using masculine thinking and masculine ways to help women come into power, or they are unwilling to engage in the humbling, scary, ego-defying, raw work that's required for a woman to come into clean power. Clean power. And be the walking embodiment of the membrane that constitutes all planets, constitutes real reality. And so I say that for those of you who are sick and tired of fakeness, and you're ready to do the real thing. Not just sick and tired of this shit and let me go fill myself up with sugar and distract myself for Netflix and complain about niggas and earth and not that kind of sick and tired where you go commiserate with because this fucking fuck shit. No, not that kind of sick and tired. The kind where you're tired of your own fucking bullshit. You're done with running from your power. You're done with lying to yourself. Even the little, because because it's so hard and because men are trash and my mother didn't love me. And I'm just you're done. Done. Finito. Or you're not. You love being in pain and going nowhere. You love complaining about ain't shit niggas, but sucking another one's dick. You love being mad at society and Elon and the patriarchy and all the shit and staying there. You love it. This is not for you. This is for those of you who have never been met in the raw depth of your full power. You've had glimpses of it throughout your life, just glimpses. Maybe it scared you. Maybe you felt like you couldn't sustain it, you couldn't handle it. What's going to happen when people truly see you powerful? Kind of like for those of you who engage in mushroom ceremonies. And in that ceremony, you saw yourself as this giant being who was swallowing earth. But then you come back out into your normal life and you act like a little girl, peasant. Because if people see who you really are, will you look good? Will you belong? Will your man still want you? Will you be able to keep your job? Who's going to be your friend? Where are you going to belong? Will people like you? Nobody's going to like you. Arrogant ass. That bitch arrogant. Who she thinks she is, bitch? You ain't better than me, bitch. And I don't know if I can handle that. I'm scared. I'm going to be all alone because nobody's going to like me. I'm not going to have any friends and I'm going to end up broke all alone under a bridge and then I'm going to die and decay and they're going to find my dead body. And I don't want that. I can't. So I walk around with all these veils and masks over my face, being a nice, hi sis, fake. And that becomes my entire life while my children watch, other people watch, and then more children are born and society just goes on. Is that the plan, people? Is that the plan? Is that the plan? The unconscious plan, because I imagine you had not sat down quietly with yourself over a cup of coffee early in the morning and said, you know what? I'm going to be fake for the rest of my life. I'm going to lie and hide because I don't want to end up broke under a bridge alone. And I have children, but they're just going to have to watch because I refuse to come into my power. And I will tell them to be better than me, but I won't model what that looks like because I refuse. They better figure that shit out on their own, looking at other people because I refuse to be in my full power. I'm going to subscribe to the current systems because I'm scared. That's it. I'm just scared. I need to look good to everybody else. So my children better figure it out because I'm not going to be the example for them. I imagine you have not sat down over a cup of coffee and actually said that to yourself and made that deal with yourself quietly. Have you? Because that's what you're unconsciously doing. Listen, this is the raw of it. This is the root of it, babes. This is the root of it. Where's the children looking to see who's who and what's what? Where do they get the answers about how this shit work? Where do your nieces and nephews and sons and daughters get the answers about how this shit work? Okay, so I invite you to come into one or both of these if you're ready for your raw power. If you're ready to cry and grieve. And as I once heard Dr. I forget her, Venus Operice, I don't know if she still calls herself that, but she used to say, I heard her in a podcast some years ago, and she said, love, self-love, is getting into a street fight with yourself on behalf of yourself. Let me repeat that. Real love is getting into a street fight with yourself on behalf of yourself. You ready for that? You ready to cry and grieve and struggle up into your real power? Or no, because I'm scared, because I can't? Or do you want to be scared and still struggle up? Because you know you can still go. What you gonna tell your daughter? Tell her to get in line, babes. Get in line, babes, because our Womanhood Initiation is happening this coming Sunday. You need to be prepared to invest in yourself. This is community. It's raw, it's real, it's the real deal. The investment for the woman community, because this Womanhood Initiation is your gateway into our woman community. So if you're not prepared to invest, assuming it's a good fit, because just because you have the money, just because you show up, doesn't mean it's a good fit. But assuming it's a good fit, you need to be prepared to invest $1,100 for the year or $109 per month. If you come to the Womanhood Initiation, you can register right now for the Womanhood Initiation with the link in my bio. Okay. When you sign up for Shadow Gold and pay in full, I will give you the woman community. When you sign up for Shadow Gold and pay in full, I will give you the woman community. You can find Shadow Gold right now with the link in my bio. I like to pause for a minute and make room for questions about anything that I've already discussed here before I go a bit further into today's topic. Grab power by the root, own your sex. So our weekly newsletter, every Monday, the Academy for Womanhood publishes a newsletter called the Er0tic Path. So yesterday was Monday, and the newsletter was published. And one section of that newsletter discussed very much, the entire newsletter discussed on a foundational level where we got to where we are today regarding women and sex and how to begin to own your sex. And when I say sex, to be clear, I'm not merely talking about a dick going in a pussy. This is an evolved conversation. We are cutting edge conversation. This is not basic conversations that basic women have, what I call females cosplaying as women. Okay, most females are not women. Most humans who walk around with a vagina and breasts are not women. They're little girls waiting to be saved, waiting for permission, scared to fully inhabit their full power. That is most of you here today. When you can accept that and be honest about who you are, what your behaviors, your daily behaviors, your actual triggers into decision making, where you invest most of your time and money, the way you order your days. When you are honest, you will see how much you behave like a little girl. Your behavior and life is fear-based. You are not a woman. This is not to talk down to you or to make you feel bad. This is to live in the world of honesty. This is to live in the world of honesty. One of our values in the woman community is raw, radical honesty, no matter how painful and uncomfortable it is. Because if you cannot handle raw reality, not the reality you like, no, the reality of human nature, the reality of what's really driving you, the reality of your unconscious mind, you cannot do nothing we doing over here. So stay your ass eating up shit on TikTok. That's where you stay. So I say that for those of you who know that it's time for raw honesty in your reality. It's time for you to go into a street fight with yourself on behalf of yourself. This is why the Academy for Womanhood exists. To support you and love you and lift you and mentor you and guide you and support you in this way. Anything else, go over there. You got a problem with raw reality? Go over there. You got a problem with raw honesty? Go over there. Okay, what about when you don't love the quote, Lucy? What about when you hate it? What about when it makes you uncomfortable? You still gonna be around? And this is not just for Lucy. Lucy is just one of billions of people with emotions and what they like and what they don't like. This is not about you, Lucy. This is about all the millions of people who think like you. Again, we are bigger than feelings over here. We are bigger than, I like that. I like that quote. Wow. I like that. To come into raw power is highly uncomfortable. It is unfamiliar. Oh, I like her. I like her. I like her. I really like her. I like her delivery. I like how she explains. I like her. I just really like her. So I'm going to sign up for her stuff. And I will tell you, most of the time, it's where you are uncomfortable, that you don't like, where you want to run away, that is in best service to your real power. Not the power that just puts you in a more sophisticated, ego-lifting environment. Okay? I say that to continue to keep the air and the power clean. You have to be vigilant about your power. You have to be vigilant about your body, your mind, your true intent. Vigilant. This is you in a street fight with yourself on behalf of yourself. It has nothing to do with the external world. Nothing. It has everything to do with you, your mind, the way you emote, the way you feel, what you choose, how you are perceiving something, how you are interpreting something, what's really driving your actions. That is you and your responsibility to keep that space clean. And this is what the Academy for Womanhood helps you do. Now, grabbing your power by the root, owning your sex. This is not just about intercourse, people. This is not just about a penis inside of a vagina. This is about a woman's aroused state. The state that we avoid because how will people respond to us? The state that we avoid because we're afraid we're going to be out of control. The state that we avoid because we don't know if we can handle it. The state that we avoid because how are we going to be perceived? What's going to happen? That feels so unknown, that feels so foreign. So instead, we keep our sex suppressed. Sex meaning life force energy, sex meaning our full excitement, right? Big boyish laughter on, very activated, like a 2-year-old, like a 3-year-old, like a 5-year-old, before their parents constantly tell them to sit down, calm down, be smaller, be quieter, be less. This is what so many women are wanting to return to in a refined way, in a 35, 45, 55-year-old body, not just another normal woman trying to look modest, trying to look like a good woman, trying to look like a wife. So some man sees you as something worth picking. And then you wonder where your aliveness is, where your magnetism is, where your speed to be able to manifest and create and live and feel good, because you've contorted your sex down, you've suppressed your arousal. And then because you are in rejection and suppression of your sex, when you see other women who laugh loud, you're annoyed. When you see other women who walk with an aliveness and smile and flirt, you're triggered. She's suspicious. When you see a woman who dresses sexy unapologetically, girl, and she is free in her body, you got a problem with it because you've suppressed your aliveness, your life force, your sexual way of being, and you have not developed the skill of being activated in a world full of peasants. You have not practiced the skill of being on and your primal creative energy around a bunch of vultures, around a bunch of people who are in suppression and rejection of themselves. Because part of what you don't want to feel is people's judgment, or what y'all call the evil eye, their projections, their meanness, their, okay? And so much of you getting really good with swallowing people's evil eye, swallowing people's projection, swallowing people's meanness is to swallow the evil eye in you, your own evil eye, your own self-judgment, your own self-hate, your own wickedness, the way you shame and suppress and talk mean to yourself. Because when you truly do that, and again, this is what my company helps you do. When you, please hear me, please hear me, please hear me now. Real power is soft. When you truly come home to your body and you deal with everything that's natural about you, the parts of you that wants to eat a lot of food and enjoy it, the part of you that wants to go dance naked outside, the parts of you that wants to be served by 3 men, the parts of you that wants to just sit on the floor and play with your friends and laugh and do nothing and paint polish and just walk around and be curious, the part of you that wants to do all the things that you judge yourself for, that your mother judged you for and shamed you for and wouldn't let you do. When you come home to all of this, which by the way is carnal, pleasures of the body, like I talked about in our newsletter, you buy certain sheets that feel good on your skin. That is carnal. The longing for a hug, a close hug, where you hold each other's bodies tight for like 20 seconds and you don't move and you both breathe into it because it feels so good. That's carnal. Your desire to just want to sit close to somebody. Sometimes I just want to sit close to my mother and just, our bodies just touch each other, just like that. That's carnal. But how many of you know that you demonize the carnal you? You judge and suspicious of the carnal you. And now what has happened is it has inverted. And some of y'all are like, I don't like people touching me. I don't like people touching me. Because you shame and judge the carnal aspects of yourself. Everybody wants to be in connection and to be touched. Everybody. And anybody who's somewhere along the line, maybe 3 years old, maybe 7 years old, maybe as a teenager, somebody made it wrong and bad to be in carnal connection, to be touched, to play, to be silly, because somehow somebody spread the memo, and it's not somebody spread the memo. I talked about in the newsletter where all this shit started. somehow when you're 3, it's okay to want to sit on people's lap and touch their face. Like my niece who just turned 4, she just wants to sit on my lap and touch my face, and she'll hug me and be like, Auntie, I love you so much. And she'll kiss me and let's play hide and seek and all these things. Somehow we think that once you become a teenager or 25 or 35 and 45, okay, no more. You need to get serious about life. Cut off all that play shit, that carnal shit, that primal shit. Now you're an adult. And then your ass, let's say for those of you who are successful, right? You have lucrative careers, you travel the globe, you doing all that boss shit, all that shit, and you're disconnected from your carnal playful self that just wants to sit on the floor naked and eat food out of a paper plate. Right? You just want to just lay around and smell. How's my coochie smell today? Oh wow, that's interesting. Did I? You just want to play around, but you don't. You judge yourself because you grown now. You're doing too much. It makes me think of when I first moved to Houston and I wanted to make a name for myself in Houston. I didn't know anybody when I moved to Houston, not a single person. And I love fashion. Some of y'all know that. I love it, love it, love it. It's my play. It's my thing. And I started a company to help emerging fashion and beauty brands to market them. Emerging fashion and beauty brands. I'm in Houston. I don't know anybody. So I decide that I'm going to put on a big fashion show for the city, right? It's all creative excitement, right? And this is my extreme passion. So when I tell you the level of work and hustle that went into this from a place of love and excitement and desire. And this is why, again, it's so important to be in touch with your genuine desire, your highest excitement, because you're alive. All of your creativity juice, it just, and that's when you can start doing supernatural things. And so I remember we were like a month out from the show and I had gathered volunteers to be on my team. I mean, I was on it. And I remember we were having a meeting. We were on a call and we were having a meeting as part of the preparing for the show that was coming up. And I just remember being so, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm wild as fuck. Like when my excitement goes, bitch, it goes, okay? And I remember we were on this call and I was just so, when I tell you, on, right? And to this day, I still remember this because it was the first time that I felt like, oh, so being in the presence of people who have suppressed their excitement. So when you're excited, they want to knock it down, and why it's so important for you to develop the skill to be alive in all environments, because you can't control everything all around you. And there will be times when you're excited in rooms with women who have suppressed their sex. They've been married for 20 years. They hate their bodies and they've judged and shamed themselves for the last 20 years. And then here you come all on, clean in your power, truly loving everything that's carnal and alive about you without any dirtiness of shame and judgment. And she hates you for it. And you need to be able to still be on. Because I remember when she said that, I was like, ouch. I was excited. I was on. And one of my volunteers said to me, what are you on, Ritalin? Now, I don't even know what Ritalin was when she said that. But the way she said it, I could tell it was like, you doing too much. You too excited. Calm down. No. All of these damn zombies, the way folks on anxiety, on pills, tight in their beds, can't barely move because they lost their highest excitement. They lost their passion. They lost their aliveness. And you want me to tamper my shit down because you let your mama kill your shit? You let society kill your shit, so you want me to be like that? Bitch, I got millions to make, bitch. I got a big life to live. I got shit to do. I'm not joining you in that. And it's so important that we don't allow, and so many of you, I know it for sure, are mad as fuck. And you're trying to come into your power by way of anger. It's not sustainable. You're trying to come into your power by way of fuck them bitches. It's not sustainable. Fuck a nigga. Mad at your mom, want to prove that you're capable and lovable. It's not sustainable. It's not gonna work. It might get you going. It might get your adrenaline going for a little bit, but it's not sustainable. And ultimately, it's not gonna feel good. And you're not gonna reach that soft place where real power lives. Before I go on, I want to take questions and look at the comments because I haven't been looking at the comments. Any questions? Now's your time. Sha, what about the ones who had mother issues? What about them? Any questions? If you're new here, my name is Naima, founder of the Academy for Womanhood, where we help women come into full power, full, raw, refined power. Society looks the way it looks today because women refuse to be in their power. And when women are not in their power, men are savages. Most of humanity really has weak emotionality, or said differently, unrefined emotional maturity. We have disconnected from our bodies. We have disconnected from our nature. We judge and shame ourselves. For women, we're waiting for men to save us. We are, because we're in war with ourselves, an unhealthy relationship with ourselves, it prohibits our ability to be in clean, healthy relationship with other women. And we are constantly giving birth to children, doing things in the world, and the whole world is sick. The future of humanity lives in the hands of women, and most of you are refusing your power. Therefore, expect Armageddon always in your reality. Do not look outside yourself for people to do it. You do it. And if you're honest about what you have been unwilling to do, you can see why the world looks the way it looks. Just imagine you multiplied by 4 billion women, and that's why the world looks the way it looks. Your unwillingness to come into your full power, imagine you multiplied by 4 billion. Women make up half of humanity. There are approximately 8 billion humans on planet Earth. Half of those 8 billion are 4 billion females. So imagine you knowing who you are, how you hide, lie, play small, all the things, and imagine you multiplied by 4 billion. That's why the world looks the way it looks. Men are savages when women are not in their power. Men are savages when women are not in their full power. Hold on. How do you override that from the ones that are not in joy? First of all, you need to really be in your power. You need to really do this work. So those of you who want microwave answers here, everything that I'm telling you is going to require work. Just know that. Okay. So to override, it's less of an override and more of an embodiment, because when you are who you are, like for example, all of you here, right now, imagine you in my presence, physical presence. Imagine us two in a room together. Do you imagine, and let's say it's me, you, and whoever else in the room, right? And let's say those other people were what you describe here, right? Like not in their power, not in their joy, not in their excitement, and they were acting a ruckus. Do you think I would have to override them? Think about this. Would I have to override them? How do you imagine that would work? And you'll see what I mean. And come back and tell me your answer, reverse. What program would you recommend for someone relearning safety in their body? I think you already know the answer, Adrian. Shadow gold, and then being in the community. Because this is going to take time for all of you who know that when I hear you say relearning safety in their body, what I hear is learning to inhabit your body fully, regardless of the circumstances and the environment. Let me repeat, fully inhabiting your body as it is on, aroused, horny, excited, activated, whether you're at the grocery store, with your kids, around men, at work. How do you fully inhabit your body as it's alive, regardless of circumstance and environment? Can you see that that's going to take time? Everybody here, can you see that that's going to take time, maturity, and seriousness? Not binge watching YouTube and TikTok videos. Can you see, Adrian and everybody else, that that's going to take time? This is the primary reason why the woman community exists. We are in a separate platform, very active every single day. If you're prepared for community and you're prepared to invest, assuming it's a good fit, I'm not saying it is. If you're prepared to invest $1,100 a year or $109 a month, you can come to the Womanhood Initiation. If you are prepared and assuming it's a good fit, if you come to this, it's likely a good fit. And or shadow gold. And I say and or because some women don't necessarily want to be in community right now. They want a tool that works, which is what shadow gold is, to bring you back into living in your body in a way that women for millennia have been beat out of, harmed out of, killed out of, jailed out of. So you're returning to a full power that is old, 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 old. And as I've said in this live stream today, that so many women will never return to. And they will be poor examples for their daughters. Or another perspective is you could be the example for your daughter for what not to be, because that could be useful too. Why are some like that? For me to override means I would not get triggered. And if I'm triggered, there is a familiarity. And when you say familiarity, meaning there's some truth there. Is that what you mean by familiarity? A trigger tells you there's a truth there, okay? And please know that when the sense I get here reverse, and what so many women, when they talk about being triggered, one, they talk about it as a negative thing, like, don't get triggered, or you a trigger, so look at you triggered. And then what so many women do now is they stay tight and away and afraid to be in the curiosity of life because they don't want to get triggered. They're scared of being seen weak, and oftentimes being triggered equates to being weak, etc. You want to be triggered. You're going to be triggered by the rest of your life. You want to know what your weaknesses are. Let people see. Please know, everybody is weak somewhere. Everybody is weak somewhere. Let me say this. Everybody is lying. Everybody is scared. Real power, I'm telling you, real power, you're willing to look weak. I'm telling you, you're going to find real power in your willingness to look weak in front of people, to make mistakes, to be humbled out, the real kind, not the Webster's dictionary kind of placing yourself in a lowly state to basically disarm people's ego. Because then if you look humble, somehow people will be disarmed and think that you're, a good person. This fake humility. I'm talking about the real kind, which oftentimes desire does. It drags you down into the base, the bottom, the real membrane of reality. This shit out here, so much. I'm telling you, real power is soft. You get down, you want to be triggered. I'm saying this to those of you who are like, I don't want to be triggered, and you're avoiding being triggered. And if you if people see you trigger, you gonna feel like they got you, and you lost and they won. That's the man's way. And I don't want to look triggered. You want to be triggered. You want to be disturbed. Like, fuck, what? Because you get to see things that you couldn't see by yourself. And then if it's something that you want to bring forward in an active way to start to Investigate with curiosity and compassion. Why am I triggered here? I thought I dealt with this. Why am I triggered here? Oh, because it's true. I do feel sad. I do feel angry. And then thank you for bringing this trigger into my reality. Sweetheart, real power is soft, real power is raw, and it comes with pain. But the thing is, you want to feel the pain to struggle up, not to avoid pain or to feel pain and just stay there. This is what I'm constantly reinforcing in my community. This is why the fucking power is clean. This is why it's real love. It's the real fucking deal. Bitch, it's the real motherfucking deal. Come on. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. You know that lightheartedness that so many women want to return to, but they can't because they don't want to traverse the pain of all the fucking shit that's in the way. All the shit that happened with their mother, with that nigga, with their daddy, with all the shit that has had you put up all of these protection barriers and all these veils and walls that's in the way of your raw, clean, lighthearted state. I told you we on the cutting edge over here. This is not your white light, loving light, fake ass. This shit. Motherfuckers swerving down they did shadow work, but you ain't able to produce the results you want, but you did shadow work? Somebody done bastardized shadow work. Just so much has been bastardized. You know what I'm saying? Great questions, you all. Great questions. Notice the urge to jump and restrict her out of fear. You're talking about the inner you? Not beneficial for either of us. Yeah, that's a good one. How do I say your name? Naeu. Could you type it phonetically for me? Jump and restrict her. That is so good right there. And notice is exactly it. And then with genuine curiosity and compassion, you ask yourself, why do I feel the urge to jump and restrict her? And then that urge to jump and restrict her. So this is really good for everybody here right now. What a blessing. Thank you so much, darling. This is so good. What a blessing. Your comment is going to bless all of us. Thank you so much. So that person there whose name is Naeu, I think is what it is. And she said here, notice the urge. Look at her comment or his comment, or I think it's a woman. Notice the urge to jump and restrict her out of fear. Not beneficial for either of us. Now, you could be talking about somebody else, but I am interpreting that. I'm choosing to interpret that as the urge to jump and restrict her being your alive self, your true self, your refined, raw self, even beyond, right? And women are constantly jumping and restricting their inner her, their inner aliveness on fire. And what happens is, because we're so in the habit of restricting and jumping her, but most of us, it's not in our awareness that we're doing that. And this is how projections happened. For those of you who were here, 2 weeks ago, when I talked about how projections happen, where a woman suppresses her thing, whatever her thing is, her love for dance, her love for sex, her love for whatever, and she suppresses it, right? Out of shame. And she forgets that she suppressed it. Then she sees another woman who dances passionately and is like, she ain't all that. She's doing too much, right? Because she suppressed her own. So when a woman is in the habit to jump and restrict herself, but it's unconscious to her because she pushed it down long ago, when she looks out at other women, she wants to jump and restrict the woman, the women at work, her daughters, other women in her family, her friends, any other women online. They want to jump and restrict. So when you know this from a deeply soft, compassionate way, you see how you never are mad at any woman who's doing ugly shit. Do you see that? Because you recognize all ugly coming out of a woman is a hate and suppression in herself. All ugly, all jumping, all projection, all, negativity, jealousy, all of it is because of a suppression and hate within herself. Can you see that? When you really see that in yourself, You can never be mad at another woman again. Not genuinely mad. I'm not saying you won't have feelings, but you can never be genuinely mad at another woman who jumps other women, harms other women, attacks other women, berates other women, is jealous of other women. Nothing, because you recognize that only comes from a suppression, restriction, and a hate within herself. Do you see that? So the way women are online fighting and warring, it's all fake. That ugly bitch. All of the trends going on right now, all of them. The arguing with women, I took your man, all of it is fake. It's all deep repression. Self-hate, something happened with their mom. Something happened with them being bullied by girls in middle school. Something happened with their dad who abused them when they were young. Something happened with their aunt, their grandma, something, somewhere, somehow, and it just gets repressed. And then it comes out in their adult years as, I'm better than that bitch. Niggas ain't shit. I'm prettier than her. Bitches is jealous. They jealous of me, bitch. I'm jealous of that bitch. Fuck that bitch. All of it. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. And it's a hurt little girl in a 45-year-old body. It's a scared little girl in a 55-year-old body. It's a girl who was bullied in middle school in a 25-year-old body. That's all it is. And it's never been reconciled at a raw, true, soft place. That's it. That's it. That's it. So for those of you here who are life coaches, who are medicine women, who really feel called to change the world, who are changing the world, who are called to have your business and your body be the gateway to collective healing, your business, your body be the gateway to restoration of power, restoration of love, restoration of healing, restoration of togetherness, restoration of joy, restoration of aliveness. You need to understand that while all those things are wonderful, I'm getting chills as I'm even saying it. Love, joy, abundance, together, unity. On the path to doing this through your business or even in your community, what you're going to deal with inevitably and predictably is everything that is not that. Because people want to return to love, joy, connection, abundance. But what they need to traverse is everything that's in the way of that. What I call obstructions. And these obstructions were built up starting in their young years with their mom, their dad, their aunts, their grandmas, their cousins, the church, girls at school. And in all these years of development, obstruction, another obstruction, ashamed to dance, ashamed to express, ashamed to be creative, ashamed to move fast, ashamed to just know, ashamed to talk authentically, ashamed to be true, ashamed, shame. So then you put up all these obstructions. You put up an obstruction at 6. You put up an obstruction at 8 years old. You put up another one at 10. You put up another one in middle school because girls said this. You put up another one in high school because your teacher said this. You put up another one. You put up another one. You put up another one. You put up another. By the time you're 25, you got 55 fucking obstructions all in the way of your joy, your creativity, the way you can manifest fast when you 3 because you don't have a bunch of shit in the way. But then at 35, you just take so long to manifest. The niggas ain't shit, and I'm mad, and I'm angry, and Elon is a fucking, and these capitalist just like all over the place, because you got all these obstructions in the way. So when you are using your business to help people heal, you're helping single mothers love again. You're helping people with broken hearts restore their hearts so they can be good mothers, be powerful CEOs, be leaders in the community, be all these things. What you are dealing with is all the obstructions in the way. And normally those obstructions appear like protection mechanisms, like really good sounding reasons for why I'm like this, because bitches ain't shit. And because my mama, because my daddy, because I'm telling you, because humans are fucking trash. And it's going to come strong. This is why full, clean power is so fucking important. Clean power. This is why I said earlier in this live stream, if you can't deal with the raw reality of humans and you call yourself a healer, you want to do collective work, you have a company where you are looking to be profitable, highly profitable as a coach, any kind of coach, a life coach, a marriage coach, a CEO coach, a business coach, all the things, and you are profitable, plan to be more profitable, you really have a genuine intent to restore at a collective level. You, for those of you, so many telling me you want to host retreats around the world. You want to help women in different countries. You want to help young girls. You want to help children. You are called and you are chosen, and God told you, and you got a download, and the ancestors gave you a dream that you're here to restore consciousness, shift paradigms, bring humanity back to wholeness and oneness. Do you know the ugly that you are called to be in relationship with within yourself? So you are a clean vessel as a coach. Do you know that? So do you understand that when you are taking that dream and that download serious, that you need to make decisions accordingly, which means you need to be with a company like mine or any other one that you feel drawn to, so that you refine and mature and clean power? Where any impediment that's in the way, shame, guilt, wanting to be superior to others, projection, anger, all of those are impediments, obstructions that prohibit or narrow your capacity to be a clean vessel for this woman who's coming to you. Still, she's 45 years old and she's still mad at her mother. She has 3 kids, she's married, and she mad as fuck at men because her father raped her from 8 to 11 years old. And she's coming to you for coaching and restoration. But because you haven't dealt with your own, how are you a clean vessel to coach her? This is why you can't have the powerful sales calls. This is why you can't create your content consistently. This is why you can't show up as this giant that you up here. You feel like you have what it takes. You're capable. You're called to do it. But somehow you can't bring yourself to create a content calendar that's sustainable, powerful, magnetic, that has people look at you in a live stream like this or on a YouTube video and be like, she got it. Let me contact her. I can trust her. She's clean. She's real. You see how all this is connected? Own it all. Own it all. Own it all. Raw. The most uncomfortable. The most scary. Own it and live in it. And I don't know any woman who's been able to live in it and become the woman she wants to become by herself. I don't know not one woman who's done that. Do you? I'm talking about women who are serious about full power. Do you know any woman who's done that by herself? So if you were called to be in your full power, not just enough to make some extra money, not just enough to be able to do, which there's nothing wrong with that when that's for you. I'm talking about those of you who are called to full power, being this vast, the you that you saw in that ayahuasca ceremony, the you that you saw in that medicine, that mushroom ceremony where you were giant. And when you come down here to your regular life, you can't hold her. You don't know how to actually bring her out in your content, your words, your speaking gigs, your retreats, your events, because you need to come down into this right here. Baby, it's a work, baby. It's a work. And anything that is in the way will get faced. And most of y'all who have hired coaches and medicine women and all these people y'all have hired, they ain't touched that spot over time. Because you got to touch that spot where you want to run and suppress and judge and it gets real. And that's where your power is. That's what truly makes you exceptional. Aside from the fact that everybody has their own fingerprint. You can keep them there. Smiley B, who said the fear of being seen, vulnerable, holds the boundaries firmly up. Keep them there. And I'm saying that facetiously. See how far that gets ya. And again, I'm not talking to average people, because when you are very okay with being average, what I'm saying doesn't land the same. I'm talking to women who know that they are giants. They were born different. You're called to do very distinct work. So obviously, when I say these kind of things, if you're not deeply at a soul level called to truly be a part of shifting humanity in your own way, okay, in your little corner of the world, right? Writing your series of books and publishing them and going on a marketing campaign to sell hundreds of thousands and millions of books. Obviously, if you are very okay with a normal life, which is nothing wrong with that, you can actually you'll be in your own kind of pain that gets you nowhere, but you can hang out in the world of, I keep my boundaries firmly up because I fear being seen vulnerable. But when you're sincere about real power, you recognize that it is in your high interest to be seen vulnerable. Thank you all so much for being here. For those of you who are ready to be supported, okay, you know that being in a raw community with other women who want a raw community, okay, who feel like their own giants, okay, who are called to be big in the world, who are called to refine themselves, and you know that you would, so much would happen so fast, which is what happens for a lot of our members. So much happens so fast with them coming into this community. If you know that it's time, I invite you into my Womanhood Initiation. And again, assuming it's a good fit, you need to be prepared to invest either $1,100 for the year or $109 per month, and or Shadow Gold. So I invite you to go to the link in my bio and review both of these. If you see something else in my bio that appeals to you, obviously check it out and take action wherever you feel called to take action. All right, you all, take good care of yourselves.